Welcome to the PM Pour, the podcast for property managers. It's a place to pour a cup of coffee, pour yourself a glass of wine, or simply pour your heart out. The PM Pour is a community designed specifically for those in property management. It's a safe space to communicate, network, and learn from one another. Welcome to the PM Pour this week, everyone. The PM Pour is, of course, the podcast for property managers, a place to pour a cup of coffee, pour a glass of wine, or simply pour your heart out. The PM Pour is also a community designed specifically for those in property management, a safe space to communicate, network, and, of course, learn from one another. So this week, I have on the podcast with me Darren Hunter. Now, a lot of you probably know Darren. Darren is a national and international property management trainer, expert, and leading industry authority in fees and overcoming fee discounting, as well as productivity and time management. So thank you so much for joining me today, Darren.
Oh, it's a real pleasure, Kylie. And I like the name Pour. So my part of that would be coffee. Certainly enjoy good coffee. It's a real pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Yes, I love coffee. And I am a little bit of a coffee snob, I must say. So I love a coffee and I don't mind a glass of wine here and there as well. So, and I love listening to people's stories. So I thought that was just, it's just me, really, overall. So first of all, Darren, I want to talk to you about, I know that you're an expert in so many different things, but you've also been in the industry for a super long time. And your business initially started off with you as a consultant and a trainer and so forth. And then your business has grown and you now have, I think, 3 other business partners. It started off with yourself and then Dennis came into it and then Michael and now you've got Julie. So it's about business partnership, the conversation this morning initially, because I know that some business partnerships are challenging. And I want to know from you guys, what do you have in place within your partnership to, some strategies or a structure that you have in place to make sure that everyone stays happy, so to speak, and your business continues to thrive?
Okay. So just as a little bit of a correction there, IGT has 3 directors, which is Michael, Sands, Dennis, Youssef, and myself. And Julie is an associate. She is like we sort of nicknamed her the yellow wiggle. Because she comes in, but not as a business partner. And I guess our business is very unique. One thing we've always set out to do is the business serves us. We don't serve the business. So we don't become subservient to it. It serves our needs, and our needs have changed over many years. Now, Inspire Growth Training has been going since 2017, and Dennis, Youssef, and myself set that up. And we were both individual trainers with our own brands. Dennis was BDM Coach. I was DarrenHunter.com. And we just had a lot of synergy together. Our skills are very different, but bring it together, we could create a real strength. And about 18 months later, Michael came on board and added his layer of strengths. And I guess we see it a little bit like the Avengers. We've all got our own individual skills and skill sets that complement everyone. And really, we really haven't got a set of skills which is the same as anyone else. So we don't really clash over those things. And so the strength is when we come together. And Julie just adds to that mix as well, because she's such a good nuts and bolts trainer as well. Whereas, and I specialize in fees, and I'll certainly do time management, things like that. And overcoming fee objections. Dennis is that real hardcore rent roll growth strategies and BDM skills. Michael, though he can train rent roll growth and BDM skills, his area of expertise is really flourishing. He's really making himself a mark in AI, artificial intelligence, and teaching real estate agents and property managers how to use it to be more efficient in their roles. He's very good at it. But also, Michael heads up Teams by Design, which is a virtual assistant company based in the Philippines. And so he brings really that ability to become more efficient through AI, but also how to delegate your tasks onto virtual assistants as well. So, that really brings together, what IGT is. And we've changed shape over many years, particularly through COVID, where we were very much an on the ground event company, but COVID changed things, pushed training to online. And so we're very much an online based company now with our training. We would love to do some events, but the economy probably doesn't allow a lot of events at the moment because people really don't want to pay for tickets. But right now, we've got Michael in Dubai. We've got
Wow.
Dennis he arrived in Manila last night, and I'm here in tropical Adelaide. So, tropical
Tropical,
being this
yes.
very cold time of year and cold for you on the Barossa. But, yeah, so and we can operate our business anywhere at any time. It's fully digital. We're fully online, and it operates really, really well.
So I guess the ever evolving kind of thing is really important, and to make sure that you're not sort of cemented into one idea, um, and to be ready to spin around. Because I mean, COVID spun everybody on their heads, didn't they, with the way
Mm,
everything
mm.
operated? Um, you just mentioned AI and Michael, so I'm going to ask you a little bit of a question about AI, and I really am going to. I think I'm going to speak to Michael as well because I'm really interested with regards to AI because AI and software seems to take away a lot of our thinking power and problem solving. How do you think that that's going to impact our industry, or how is it? I mean, it's already impacted our industry already because I think our problem solving skills are probably not as maybe refined maybe as what they once were. We have a problem, we sort of whack it into AI and AI solves it for us. So how's that going to impact our industry from moving on, do you think?
I think it's certainly going to help new property managers because, when a new property manager starts, the usual induction from any boss is here's your desk, here's your phone, good luck, you're on your own. And they sink or swim, and a lot of them sink. So AI in that case is going to help these people, particularly around triaging with repairs, all of those sorts of things, and leaning on that. I personally see it as a positive. And it's not there to replace what you do, but it's there to help you become more efficient. So if you've got a difficult email, you can do the details. I will then take that email, drop it into AI, say, create a more polite tone, or give me a better version of this or something like that. But I personally wouldn't go to AI to write something from scratch. Or you could actually take a difficult email from a tenant, copy that, drop it in. I need to give a good response to this. Give me some suggestions, and then you just go and change things, and it's all there to shorten time, but not to replace you. And there's some really silly things out there. People sending AI stuff without reading it, without checking it, without amending it, and they're just going to make themselves look silly because it comes out with Chat GPT breath all over it.
Yeah, and I think that that's a really important thing. I was speaking with somebody yesterday actually about AI, and it's almost like uh, uh, AI versus AI when it comes to solving problems because you're just going to put it into AI, and it might be ChatGPT, for example, and then the person you refine it, you get it to spit out, you refine it, you send it back to the next person, and the next person might put it into their choice of AI software, and that creates a response, and it says so. It's almost like the battle of the AI systems.
Mm, mm. But here's the funny thing around that. We've got all these wonderful tools and things like that, but still, landlords are still leaving rent rolls because emails haven't been returned and phone calls haven't been returned.
And
So,
so that comes back down to the personal touch, really, because AI is not going to really do
no,
that.
no, you still got those issues going on, and property managers, a lot of them, still not doing the basics.
Yeah.
And it's the basics, not doing the basics right. That why some of the biggest reasons why landlords choose to leave a rent roll and go with your competitors down the road. It's still going on. It hasn't changed at all, even with AI. So there's some real struggles out there still.
So that we still need to get back to basics, and we still need to
Mm.
pick up the phone. We still need to have
Still need to be the
conversations with
property
people.
manager and service our clients, and
So,
treat them with a sense of urgency, and
yeah.
care, and that we care about their inquiry, that they've now gone out of their way to send us or phone us or anything like that, and get back to them, within an expected time frame, so they are satisfied and they can go back to their peace of mind again, and land of forgetfulness about their property, because that's where we want them to be.
Yeah, exactly, and I think you've just mentioned another word about care as well. So our, society overall, we care about us, in particular as individuals, and that, they don't care that you might manage 150 properties. When there's a problem, they want you to care about them.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I think that that's something that needs to be looked at. So let's have a look at something, one of your other specialties now, um, fee maximisation. This is something that I think I'm rather passionate about as well, because I think overall as an industry, we're not doing ourselves any favours by cutting fees and so forth. Um, let's talk about fee maximisation from your point of view to begin with. What sort of made you move into choosing fee or fee maximisation, or did that choose you?
Yeah. Okay. So it goes right back to actually where we were first connected, and we haven't talked about that yet, Kylie. So
No, we have
for
not.
everyone here in the late '90s, Kylie and I were actually competitors. We were competing property managers, and we were on very friendly terms, which was great. In the Riverland of South Australia, I was based in at the time I was based in Berry, and Kylie, you were based in Renmark.
Yep.
You were with LJ Hooker at Renmark. I was with Rooney's First National. So two very strong businesses.
Strong brands at the
And
time, weren't
and
they? Yeah.
and over time, I ended up leaving First National, and in 2000, I joined Elders Real Estate, and which 18 months later, then went and bought LJ Hooker Renmark. By that time, you had moved on, and there was a new property manager there, and we inherited that property manager, but we inherited your portfolio. So, and that's really where my fee maximization journey starts, because it first started when I took over this portfolio with Elders in Barmera in the year 2000, and basically the lady that had exited before me, who was a property manager, unfortunately, her name was Dorothy, if you remember Dorothy, and she at the time was terminally ill with cancer. So she had built that rent roll up to about 70 or so properties from scratch with Elders Real Estate in Barmer, and I bet you got all these memories coming back now, Kylie. And I started in the rent roll where she had been off sick for about 4 months now, and the salesperson in the office was now looking after it. And he was really upset. Like that wasn't part of the deal. That he was managing property. He just wants to be
Mm.
the salesperson. And so as soon as I started, he literally threw the paperwork at me and said, I want nothing to do with it. It's yours now. And off I went. And the thing is that because of my time at Rooney's First National, I knew what fees should be. And I knew, and at the time in the Riverland, you remember management fees were at that market of about 11%.
Yeah.
Um, and you got your 2 weeks rent and all of that. But Dorothy, unfortunately, had started off thinking that classic mistake that I'm just starting off, so I better start off cheap because that's going to get my momentum. But cheap fees never speed up your growth. The only thing that speeds up your growth is rent roll growth strategies, not cheap fees. But she fell into that trap. So when I first started, the fees were very, very cheap. So immediately when I looked at her fee structure, I thought, well, crap, that ain't happening with me. And
Mm.
immediately my fees, in fact, I pegged them at the most expensive in the Riverland. Why? Because I knew I was worth it and I knew I would get it. And there was one particular fee that I added, and it's a final inspection fee. And no one had ever done that before. But
No,
I didn't care because, and there's only one reason, Kylie, why I charged a final inspection fee. You want to know why?
I do.
Because they suck. I hated them. And I thought, I don't want to do them for free. So I just started charging a fee. And here is the truth that not once did an owner ever question it. And not once did my competitors ever charge it. It didn't make any difference.
Mm.
So, and my book, PM Fee Script Secrets, if you get that, everyone, it actually explains there's some rules in there of why. And really, owners only focus on the management fee and don't really give a rip about the other stuff. So that's what I discovered. But see, here's what happens. So I'm now got the most expensive fees in the Riverland. I'm signing up business really, really quickly. I'm getting all of this real fast momentum. And it didn't matter I was the most expensive. People didn't care. They just wanted me. And then I got a phone call from my state manager, Peter Taylor, and he calls up and, hi Darren, I'm Peter Taylor. Welcome on board. By the way, we bought this rent roll and we need you to go and sign new management agreements. And I thought, okay, well, Dorothy's been sick a number of months now, and I don't know, but by hell, I'll go sign up new management agreements, but I'm not signing them up at these crappy fees. They're going to be at my fees. And I'll be honest, I was getting a commission as well of total income, so I was
Yep.
incentivized. And I just don't remember whether I was worried about it or not. I just went and did it. And it worked so well. I got all my agreements back. I had one awful, awful, awful less than C grade landlord. He was a Z class landlord. He was a terrible man. He was actually the landlord of the office. And he went down the road to another person that we know and took two crappy properties with him. And other than that, I had a local person call me up and said, Darren, I don't want to pay for this fee, but I'll pay for everything else. And I said, okay. And no one else negotiated with him. But I came out at the end of it going, oh my goodness me, this is amazing. I didn't realize it would work so well. And I thought, okay, lesson learned. So now 18 months later, Elders has gone and bought LJ Hooker at Renmark. And I'll be honest with you, because they looked at how much money they were making now through all the fees that I'd brought in. They thought,
Yep.
crap, let's go buy Darren another rent roll. Oh,
Let's
no,
go buy him another one.
we just go buy this one. So now we went from 180 properties. I started on 90, and then I was at 180, and then we added 220, which was the LJ Hooker at Renmark portfolio. And that property manager came over, and one of the first things that she said to me, she said, Darren, I'm happy to work with you, but your fees suck. Your fees are a rip-off. Don't think of it. And I said, and I thought, oh, goodness me, that's because I'm getting hand over fist.
So how
And
did you bring her around?
so I thought, okay, and she was only 21. So I thought, if you knew who, you know who she was.
I do. Yep.
I just thought, okay, she's young enough. I can change her. So I challenged her. I said, look, are you just willing to give this a go? And she said, yeah, okay, Darren. All right. So I did some training. I did mindset training, which is what I do today. And I said, all right, I gave her a point of difference. I trained her on that. I trained her on scripts. I gave her her worth. We increased her worth through the mindset training. And all right, Marlena, out you go, and let's get these new fees with her new business. And the next 10 agreements that she signed them up at the new fees. And she came back and says, Darren, I can't believe it. I got these fees, and says, I can't believe what poverty fees we were on before. So she originally said to me, Darren, your fees are a ripoff. And now she's telling me that her former fees are now poverty. Two totally contradictory statements. Which one
That's
is true?
that's just amazing. I know which one is true.
Well, the truth is according to your mindset at the time.
That's
Her
right.
truth got changed. All right. And so my job now as a fee maximization expert, because when we increased her fees with her current portfolio, it just worked so well. And again, I haven't stopped since then. So I've been doing this now 26 years. I've now done it over 3 countries, hundreds of rent rolls. And here is one thing I find. It works. Long as there's certain rules in place that you follow, it works really, really well. But the other thing is everybody tells me it won't work, can't work, won't work for them, and won't work in my rent roll, and give me a whole list of reasons why. But there are those mindset reasons. That's their current truth. My job is a bit like a broken leg. It's the wrong truth. I will break the leg and I'll reset it. All right. And that requires mindset training. So my core skill is I'm a mindset trainer. I change what you believe to be true. Once we
Excellent.
change what you believe to be true, then we can get different results. But your current truth dictates your current fees. The reason why you're not able to do better fees, and if I said, if you can, you can add a routine inspection fee or get a $99 routine inspection fee, or you can do a tenant exit fee, go, oh, what's that? Whatever. They're going to go, but Darren, that's not going to work for me, because it's the big buts that get in the way. And so we release those. Suddenly, once I show them, you can actually charge a quality routine inspection fee. You can charge a tenant exit fee. You can charge this fee or that fee or whatever. and I train them to that. Now they see the possibilities and they're able to do it. But we've got to just break that real tough mindset, that crusty top layer of dirt, and we just plow it up. And it's amazing what we do when we can change what people believe to be true.
And that is so good. I totally believe everything you say. I'm all on board with that because it's one of my favourite topics as well. And I'm going to thank everybody for joining us today. And we are going to continue our conversation with Darren next week. So thank you so much, Darren. And I'm looking forward to continuing our conversation next week.
No worries. Thanks, Kylie.
I hope you've enjoyed this podcast. Please subscribe so you're notified of new episodes as they land. If you'd like to speak to me further, please contact me at kylielange.com.